301 South, down from McDonald's in Jessup.
7:58 here at the Big Dog WIFO FM, world famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you this morning by Murphy Builder Supply and Nips Car Wash. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jonathan. Again, we were expecting the mayor, David Earl Keith, in yesterday, but due to all the storms in Odom, he was over there helping out, but he's in today. But again, we'll start with that. Mayor, you had a chance to go over there to view the damage, help out with everything going on yesterday. Great community-wide effort. It's amazing how Wayne County pulls together in time of need, but there were people over there, like I said, with chainsaws and whatever they needed to get those trees off those houses and get people out of houses. I mean, it was pretty scary stuff over there in Odom yesterday.
It really was, Bob, and thanks for allowing us to be here today to talk a little bit about all the events that's going on in our community and state and all. But, prayers go out to all the people in the Odom area, not just downtown Odom, but also out around the Hyman-Popple area. A lot of devastation. Spoke with Mayor Rozier, got the call from him early that morning. We were here. I was, of course, at the office, and I could see it coming and watched it there and saying, man, that thing's going to hit Jessup, and it stayed out just to north of us a little bit and went through the Odom area. And, we got the call and everybody showed up, Bobby. There was just ungodly number of people that were over there helping and getting it cleaned up. I would venture to say probably by this afternoon, all you'll see is the blue tarps on the houses because everything else will be cleaned up. I mean, that's how many people came. I got some folks told me about out at the Hyman-Popple area that there was probably 15 to 20 folks that came from St. Mary's. And they had heard about it, and they knew it had been hit, and they just showed up out in that area. And once they got the roads clear, that area was completely blocked off trying to get to it. But the emergency personnel and all got there, and it was great effort. And the Church of God in Odom opened up its doors so they could, try to feed and give water to all the workers that were out there. It was. This happened in Scriven several years ago around the same time, and it just shows you what happens when you're in a small community, in a small county, rural county, how people come together. And I was really, really proud for all the people in Odom, and I know they're still hurting this morning, and they still need our support and our prayers.
Still amazing, 3 people were injured, had to go to the hospital, treated, released, but it's amazing no one was, killed. And, you look at the other parts of the state, Carolina had a lot of deaths, but we were talking before we went on the air, Monday was a day that if everything was normal, they would have went back to school. So no tell what would happen if that would take place. But the fact that school was not in session turned out to be a blessing in Odom yesterday.
It really is. Just tremendously. There was a reason for that, and us not being in school. Had the opportunity to see it from above, and 50 yards to the left, and it goes right through the school, Bob. We're very blessed in that area that no one was injured. This thing happened around 7:15 to 7:20, somewhere in that area. And at 8 o'clock, I got a text from the governor. Mayor, how are things in your area? Told him Odom was hit pretty hard. He texted me back. He said, contact Mark Williams, and if he can't help you, call me back. And he said the whole state's been hit. And, you saw where he went up to Murray County, where they had several deaths up there, 8 or 9 in an area in a trailer park up there. So we were very fortunate. The people that the shelter in, a lot of people were at home. So, that was kind of scary. Of course, early in the morning too, not on the roads, still at the house, and just, I'm sure everybody's alarm was going off on their phones and all, and I think now, of course, 90% of the people adhered to it. They heard that. Shelter in, find you a spot immediately, not 10 minutes from now, not 20 minutes from now. Find you a spot and get in it.
Right. Question, how did the 2 churches over there in the Odom gym fare through that?
You'd be surprised if you go over there, Jonathan. Nothing.
Wow.
I'm talking about there's a pine tree that's laying across the parking lot right beside the Odom Church, Baptist Church there, just laying and just short enough not to hit the building.
Wow.
I'm not talking about a little one, 2 or 3 inches. I'm talking one that's several inches in diameter. There was a tree standing up right near it where it picked up a building from a block or so over, a metal building, and it was headed right for the church, and it wrapped around that tree.
Oh, wow.
So it's, when you look at it, that was a comment made by one of the staffs from the DNR that said, look right at the two churches there, and they're still standing looking good. So, it was amazing. As I said, the governor sent the text, and I got up there probably 7:40, making sure everything was okay in the city here. That we had a few trees down and got the roads clear here, and we sent all of our guys to Odom. Scriven sent those folks, all his guys over there. Mayor Weaver sent all his folks over there from Scriven. We sent them all over there, and you get over there, and evidently the governor, those folks in the higher up buildings know exactly what's going on and where it's going at, and looked around, and there was 15, 20 state patrolmen already there. 20 to 25 DNR people from Commissioner Mark Williams getting those folks there. The helicopter came from the DNR to oversee some of the areas. The State Patrol Lieutenant Colonel came down and flew in on his helicopter to observe it, and just the support from the state that showed up within a matter of 20 to 30 minutes after the tornado had moved through. It was pretty quick, but they were there, and so these folks are monitoring what goes on in the state. And their job is to help, and I cannot thank enough for, and I'm sure Mayor Rozier cannot thank enough for the Georgia State Patrol and their force, and the DNR and their force. And then when you look up there, after you start clearing the debris out of the way and trying to get the roads where you can make them passable, so the electrical supply companies, utilities come in there, and you look over there in the parking lot at the Odom Recreation Center, and there's 20 to 25 REA, Georgia Power, contractors all waiting for us to get the area cleared so they can get back in there and start getting the power and all back on. And I think power finally, late last night around 10 o'clock or somewhere in that area, most of them in that area got the power back. But it was instantly that you had more visitors in Odom than you probably had in the population of Odom in a matter of an hour.
Fortunate that the weather cleared too, that they had good weather to help people and get those trees off the highways. Like normally after a storm, the weather persists. Bad rain and winds, but luckily it cleared out and it was a sunshine day. But those guys with their chainsaws are amazing what they get. It's a scary thing to have a tree fall on your house or on your, and be trapped inside. But I understand they were able to get several people out.
What was really neat, and I wish somebody had video of it. We got a couple of big excavators there because we're talking trees that were huge, just trees 100 years old, and we're breaking those apart and getting them cut up and all that. And we had guys that were coming, pulling their dump trailers behind their trucks, and they were just lined up like going through a drive-through, and they would pull up, and our guy would just keep loading, and then another truck would pull out of the way, and he'd load that one and load that one. And these were all just volunteers that were bringing these trucks in there, just doing that. And, of course, the county and Mr. Jefferson opened up the landfill for all that stuff, so those guys, they would load it up, they would go right straight out to the landfill side out on Highway 169 and dump, and they'd come back around and get in line again. And so that was just constant help and all. Boykin Erectors, Jimbo Boykin and all, sent a crane over there, had a huge tree on top of a manufactured home that had to be picked up, and that was used there to pick it up. So there again, you see all the community connections that anytime anything happens in Wayne County, that people get out and work out. And listen, it wasn't just folks from Wayne County. We had some rescue people along from Pierce County. We had folks from Long County. So there were people everywhere coming to help with this situation.
I said it was a great story as far as the community-wide effort. And like I said, fortunately, no one lost their life. And fortunately, the school was not damaged. I talked to Jay Brinson. He said he took a thorough tour of the school, and he was amazed that, they didn't get any damage. There was some damage at JC Stadium a little bit. The bleachers where the band kind of got destroyed. But otherwise, in the city of Jessup, I drove around. I didn't see a lot of damage in the city of Jessup.
No, they had two trees over in my neighborhood, and I was headed to Odom when I heard on the scanner that there was a tree across the road on Magnolia Street, and I thought, oh man, my big oak tree done fell all the way across the street. So I turned around and come back, and it was a block away, but they cleared that up and got that passable. And then there was one down on Waysville Road and Ivy Street, and got that cleared up. So the city was very fortunate, and so now our job is to help our fellow citizens and all, and our sister city in Odom, and trying to help them get cleaned up now.
Right. And I talked to Richard Johnson yesterday, and I'm sure there's going to be some efforts for these people that lost their homes. If there's anything that we can get on the air to let people know where they could go and help, I'm sure they'll open up an account at a bank or something like that. So as soon as we get that information, we'll pass it along, because there's going to be a lot of people that need a lot of help. I think, I'm trying to think how many homes. I think they said 15 or so were uninhabitable at this time, something like that.
Something like that. And there's still some with some damage on it. And you can go to those folks that have some damage on their houses, and they're saying, I ain't got nothing. I'm good. Let's, move on to the next house. You put a tarp on it to keep the water from coming in, because it's supposed to rain this afternoon. So most of them just want to put blue tarps on it and get it on the roof and just move, and it's just the debris pickup in your yards and all now, because it was a lot of debris and all. So Richard Johnson and his team have, we've got a situation that's going on with the COVID-19, and then put this on him too. This is he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. A lot of stress for him, and he's getting a lot of help. And he's told me that the governor's office and Homer Bryson with Georgia management system is helping him. So, it's a trying time for everybody in our county, and we can get through it.
As you mentioned, you were originally scheduled yesterday to talk about what's going on with the city. I saw the governor's press conference yesterday, and he said now's not the time to, take your foot off the gas. That, we're kind of behind New York in that the peak's supposed to hit our area April 21st and 23rd. So he's encouraging everybody to keep on doing what they're doing. They know that social distancing is working. So just wanted to have you come in and just tell us where we are in citywide. Are people pretty much following the guidelines?
Sure. Yeah, Bob. We all got the memo back on April the 13th, when the governor did the shelter in, and extended that thing all the way to April the 30th for shelter in. And listen, the community has been very supportive of it over here in our community, in our county. I know now that we have 5 of the confirmed. We were sitting along there for a long time without any, but we knew that was going to change. But, we're very fortunate in our county that people are adhering to the shelter in as much as possible. You see in our surrounding counties, Pierce County's got about 40, Coffee County's got 60, Bacon County's got 14 or 15. So everybody around us has got cases that are showing, and I know a lot of it has to do with testing. So I'm not saying that this is all we're gonna have, but the community's doing a great job of sheltering in, and and I feel for all the businesses here. That was a hard decision that the council made before the governor made his state order. We had already put something in place for our local dining restaurants and essential businesses and all, and people were already adhering to those orders that we had provided, and it was working really well. So when he came on the air and said that's what he was going to do, and we were very fortunate that our folks were already prepared for that and were already doing that. So it's hard. We still got these local businesses out there. Some of the retail stores, they're doing trying to do a lot of online sales. So if you need those facilities, they're still available for you. The restaurants, the dine-in it's hard, but you can see the folks in line at the different places going through the drive-through and doing the takeout. So we're getting a lot of support, and I would like to say that that's attributed to why we've got a low number, but I'm not sure that is. But if we think in our mind that it's working, why don't we keep doing it? And we're at what is today's date? Is the 14th? So we
15 more days.
About 15 more days, 16 more days. He has moved the peak date to April the 26th.
So it's pushed back. Okay.
Yeah, so he's pushed it back. He brought it in and had to push it back on the 26th. Everyone around here, our facilities are prepared. Out at Wayne Memorial Hospital, they're on their website. They've got us things set up with smartcare247.com, and that gives you some information to do some online testing or talking with people about if you have any health conditions. So That's all been put together by Joe Irati and the staff out at Wayne Memorial Hospital, because we know the attention is out there for those folks that are working in that facility, and they're doing a great job, and they know that the community's supporting them, and Mr. Irati and them are doing great with that. If you they got a hotline set up for you if you need to contact anybody at Wayne Memorial if you have any questions about the COVID-19. That hotline number is 912-402-7625. So you can contact those folks if you have any questions. Our local health department, they're set up to be receiving calls and all that at their facility. Ms. Stacy and them providing it. They can be reached at 427-2043. If you got any questions of that they're willing to talk with you and help you with any situation that you have that you think that's medically that you need. Richard Johnson is the point man for everybody here in the community, from the cities, all the cities, to the health departments, everybody. It all goes through Richard Johnson with the EMA. And so Richard can, if you have questions and need some assistance in some of these different areas, he can also be reached at 912-294-1612. We've done a lot of things. We've seen, and I have seen over the period of time, Bob, and I don't want to talk too much, but I've seen over a period of time that some changes that's going on in our community. Walmart, Warren Wagamuth and Walmart did an excellent job. Once this all started, it was changing daily. It was moving. Things were happening so fast over a period of time. And they started taking different avenues of queue lines and trying to put the signage and all down. Walmart's been a great, because, we've got to have the grocery stores, the Harveys and the Walmart and the little small stores, the Dollar Generals. Got to have the pharmacies. That they're all there because people need those facilities. So, when you're supporting Walmart and all, do your best to adhere to the social distancing. That's all they're asking for, and they keep reminding people over the intercom system. But, we're doing things that we feel that are the best that we can do in our community, in our county, to try to keep our numbers down, and that's what we're really working towards.
We said it several times on the air, driving around, it appears that majority of people are doing exactly what they've been asked to do. I'm just curious, is a mayor political? You catching any flack from anybody? Is that, I get a lot of calls. I get a lot of calls, and it's not flack. And when we sit down and discuss it, and each person I try to talk with, we discuss it and try to reason out why these protocols are in place and all. And and they say, well, I understand, but, and I say, I understand too, and listen here, I don't want to do this any more than anyone else. I never thought that I would ever, I knew there would, over the period of time of being a mayor over the 6-8 years, would be storms and things like that. But for something like this to happen, I don't think there's anybody that could sit down at a table and say, you know what, I knew this was going to happen one day. So it's all new to everyone. So it's kind of hard to discuss that with some of the folks, with the businesses that have been closed, and how they can just, if I tweak it a little bit, can I open back up? If I do this, it's. We keep saying, we're trying to get to April 30th. We're trying to, as everybody's heard, and there'll probably be some kids named Flat Curve for us all over with, because that's all you hear about. We want to flatten the curve, So we got, that's all we're trying to do. We don't know for a fact that that's going to work, but we see the models all over the countries, all over the other countries in the world that some of those things are working. So it is hard on those businesses. It is, and the federal government's doing the things that they can do. The CARES Act was passed by the federal government. Then you got the disaster relief loan that people can go, those folks that are businesses that need assistance, and then the Paycheck Protection program. So there's things out there. You need to look at them. Any small business, contact their local banks to see what they need to do to be able to get into those programs, and also contact your accountants. There's folks out there, and if you're a small business owner, just one person, and you still need some help, those folks, I guarantee you there's people in any of these community banks right here in town that'd be willing to help anybody try to get through this process, and that's what we want to do. All right. But, we just want to emphasize, you see New York and they're trying to talk about recovery and all that. We just haven't got there yet. We're still, the governor is stressing Monday that, the peak here, what's the date again? The 26th?
26th, yeah.
So just got to keep on doing what we're doing. Like I said, the good news is the social distancing from all medical experts I listen to say it's definitely helping.
It is. You don't realize that between Sunday and Monday, we had 1,000 new cases in the state of Georgia, confirmed cases, and the death rate increased by 40 from Sunday at 7 o'clock to Monday. So we haven't reached that point yet. So that's the reason the governor keeps stressing shelter in. And I know it's amazing. You look out there, and I know, Bob, you're a walker too. You look out there and you see people walking the neighborhoods now like we used to do years ago, riding the bicycles everywhere, doing things together. That's, I think a lot of folks are going to think different when this incident's over with and saying, you know what, that wasn't so bad after all. So.
And another group we need to thank is the Ministerial Association, because most people have done what you've asked them to do, doing a live stream church service, which is tough. I told Jonathan it seemed weird not being in church on Sunday for Easter, especially for Easter. It was a tough weekend. Most people enjoy the church services, but it's something that's
It is, Bob.
There's no playbook for it, but it's something that's been asked to be done. And like I said, I think most churches here in Wayne County have followed the guidelines.
100%. I've been in touch with a lot of pastors and ministers all over the county before the weekend came about, and talking about the drive-in services and what they'd done. And I discussed with some of them. I said, listen here, there's no order stating that you cannot meet. That is not an order. I said, I'm just asking you as the mayor of the city here to do the recommendations that we feel like from the state level all the way down to the city level that would help the situation in this. And a couple of them talked about, when they talked about the drive-in services and all, and I said, well, I understand that. And, people are going to stay in the cars, and I understand exactly how that works. But I said, and when I talked to a few of them, I said, listen, when we go to church, regular church, before all this happened, you go in there for an hour and 15, whatever the church services is. But, after about 15 minutes, all the kids go to children's church. So they go over to another section where there's other church workers that are dealing with them, and taking care of them. Well, at that time when they're in children's church, they have the opportunity, I need to go to the restroom, or I need to go get some water. So they do that. But when you do the drive-in services and all, then you've got them sitting in the car with you. And sitting there for an hour is hard. And so then they want to use the restroom. So the next thing you know, they want to go into the church and walk up there to the church with mama or daddy and use the restroom at the church. And then when little Johnny goes up there and does it, then somebody another kid says, well, I want to go over there. I got to use the restroom. And next thing you know, you got people congregating at the restroom. And that's where you're trying to avoid the social gathering. But more than important than any of that is we still want the people that are involved in the church, the staff of the church, to be protected. Because if you walk up there, they're not going to turn you away. But they want to be protected too. And so you got to look out for the people that are on the staff of the churches. And that's when I explained that to try to talk to people like that, they said, I hadn't thought of that, Mayor. That brings a good point. I said, we want everybody to be able to go to church services, and a lot of them are doing the online services, working really well. And this too is going to pass. I think that there's so many folks in here that want this to pass, and we all do. We all do, Bob, and Jonathan knows that's from all over. But it's we got a time frame, and if we get through it, hopefully April 30th is it. I'd like to be able to write down on my hand and look down every time and say April 30th. That's all I got to do is get to April 30th. But we all know that's just a date. All that is a date. So we don't know what that's going to bring us. We just hope that's what it's going to bring us.
But as we keep on doing what they're asking to do, hopefully we'll get to that date eventually. Like I said, they say we're going to defeat this eventually. It's just a matter of doing everything to stay safe. But again, just don't take, as the governor says, don't take your foot off the gas now. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on social distancing, wash your hands, avoid the social gatherings. That's the big thing, So if you heard anybody having, like these, the governor says the block parties are the big problem. He said the beaches.
There's been none of that in our community or in the county that I know of. hadn't had any to call anybody to anything. You know, you've seen it in the news in different areas where they've had to go. You know, I think that's the great thing about being in a rural small town, because there's so many people that are talking to any group about not providing and getting involved in that. I had something I did want to share, Bob, that I saw and somebody sent it to me. We all remember the day that Kobe Bryant was involved in the accident and in his death. And on that Monday, on the headlines of the USA Today was a picture of Kobe Bryant, you know, as a player, but then the photo of the helicopter and all. And if you looked over the left-hand column and that on the front page of that was on January 27th. It has on there coronavirus, and it's talk about China, and it says there were 4 cases in the United States on January 27th. Now here it is, April the 14th, and there's 577,842 cases. That quick, you know. So basically, you just say February, March, and April, 3 months. It's gone from 4 to 577,000. So we hopefully, you know, all we can do in the local levels and the state levels is depend on the experts to lead us in the right direction, and that's what we're trying to do. And
try to follow, you know, the mistakes that other communities have taken. Yep. I talked to my friend in Albany yesterday. Like I said, I thought I had his phone number, but I went to school with him for years, but I had his address, so I wrote him a letter because I was concerned with what's going on in Albany. But he called me yesterday to talk about the situation down there, and he talked about it was just that one gathering at that funeral home, and then they went and had that fish fry after that, and he said it's all spread from there, and they've got like 80 people dead now in Albany from that one social gathering. So, again, it is a deadly virus. Again, that's why they're asking you to social distance and do what you're asked to do. And I said just grin and bear it for another 15, 16 more days, then they'll reassess at the end of the month. But hopefully the sooner everybody does everything they're supposed to do, the sooner we get through all this.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone. And if you have any questions or any concerns in the city, you know, we're working with a skeleton staff and all. Of course, we called them all in, as many as we could yesterday, to go to Odom and work up there at Odom. But, you know, I appreciate all the work that the staff's doing up at the City Hall, answering questions, folks that are calling. Same with the county. The county's getting phone calls too. Amanda and them are getting calls, so they're working on it really hard also. And both mayors, Mayor Rozier and Mayor Weaver, they're working hard trying to do the best that they can for the communities all. But, you know, personally, I'd like to thank my council. They've done a great job of working through this situation. We're in the process now of trying to get lined up for our online virtual meetings and all, because, you know, we still got the business of the city to do, and it's budget time, and we've got to have that budget all done in June. So we're going to start doing the virtual stuff. We're working towards that now. Commissioner Nick Harris is in charge of that. As we all know, he's an IT guy, so he's really working on that. So we're going to get that in place so we can, you know, we still got to conduct business of the city, and that's what we got to do.
Will you have those meetings online like the school board? Are you planning to do that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it'd be online. People will be able to view them the same way. You know, so, you know, it's we don't know what it's going to take and how long it's going to be, so we will go ahead and prepare, and we're going to try to be prepared for a meeting on the 23rd of April. Next Tuesday, and be prepared for at least do our financials and look at the financials for the last month. So we got to do those things.
Before I let you go, we just want to thank everybody who did show up yesterday and volunteered and helped out in the city of Odom. Again, it was just a great community-wide effort, and as you mentioned, several other communities came in and pitched in as well, kind of like the fire in downtown Jessup. Yep. All the other cities showed up and helped. It's amazing how many, you know, it's just great to live in that small community where people come and help out. So just, you know.
Yeah, they always do. You know, you see it. You were around, you know, the Scriven situation, right. The hurricanes that we have, right. People coming together, you know, cooking food for folks and those kind of things. And you know, even though that's happened in Odom, we're still trying our best to do as much social distance as we can. It's hard, but, you know, we want to get the people back where at least they can get back in their homes and get some normal product out, things to do, and if it works, you know. So, but yes, let's if you get the opportunity, and you can call the Odom City Hall and see if there's anything that you may be able to provide.
I think that's what we'll do. We'll reach out to Odom City Hall, see if they got any information for us that we can get on the air and let people know how they can help the people of Odom.
Yes,
so
yeah,
that'll be good. So.
Yeah, and I think Congressman Buddy Carter will be up in Odom sometime today around 2:00. oversee the damage and all that. And of course, the governor's office, he sent two of his big guys here to help us. So they're concerned everywhere. So I appreciate Congressman Carter coming and also working with us too.
Mayor, always good to see you. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Jonathan.
That's the world-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO at 827, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply and Nips Car Wash. Good morning from the Big Dog WIFO on this Tuesday morning, 14th day of April.
These are difficult times, and at Walker Jones, now more than ever, we're proud to say we'd like you to think of us as friends and good neighbors. Generation to generation, together we've faced hard times before, and together we'll get through this one. Walker Jones will continue to serve this community in whatever capacity we can, because that's what friends and good neighbors do. Stop in or shop from the comfort of your home. We deliver. We continue to be your automotive superstore on Memorial Drive in Waycross. God bless and keep you safe. From the Walker Jones family to yours.
Integrity, commitment, and strong work ethic. These are not just words when you grow up in Wayne County. Hi, this is your Sheriff John Carter. I'm a leader in our community, in my church, and in law enforcement. And as your sheriff, I will continue to uphold these values to ensure that Wayne County remains a safe place to live and raise children. I have experience in all facets of law enforcement. I have established strong working relationships with local, state, and federal agencies. Your vote and continued support will be greatly appreciated. Remember, experience matters. Paid for by the committee to re-elect John Carter.
Your Jessup Western Sizzlin' is ready to help you and your family with your meals. Western Sizzlin's takeout window is open with all your favorites, including barbecue sandwiches and plates, chicken boxes and plates, several kinds of sandwiches and wraps, plus much more. Call in your orders if you like at 588-1000. That's 588-1000, or order online at westernsizzlinjessup.com. Give your kitchen a break and pick up many of your favorite meals at Western Sizzlin' on Sunset Boulevard at 1st Street in Jessup.
The Braves Radio Network is right there with you. We miss baseball. So we're bringing you Braves replays every weekend from 1 to 4 p.m. It's Braves Extra Innings. We're re-airing games from the 2019 season every weekend until baseball returns.
This one is hammered. A rocket high into the heavens and gone.
Weeknights at 7 and Saturday and Sunday 1 p.m. on AM 1370 Fox Sports Radio and online at BigDogCountry.com. 8:30 here at the Big Dog WIFO FM. Let's get the latest from Fox News Radio.
It's something we all want. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
To begin returning to normal life.
But who has the power to reopen things from all these coronavirus shutdowns?
The President of the United States calls the shots.
But President Trump will be wrestling with governors over that authority. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live.
Dave, states are forming coalitions on the East and West Coasts as they work on plans to reopen their economies. Washington State, Oregon, and California have formed a so-called Western States Pact that Governor Gavin Newsom says will provide a
roadmap for recovery, a roadmap to get back to some semblance of normalcy.
On the other side of the country, 7 states are working together: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Massachusetts. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf says you've got to get people healthy first, and then you can reopen the economy. Dave?
Rachel, more people are getting restless.
A group called Reopen NC calling for a protest today demanding state officials reopen the North Carolina economy by April 29th. And in Michigan, Operation Gridlock, where at least 15,000 cars and trucks are expected to descend on the state capitol on Wednesday to protest what they're calling tyrannical stay-at-home guidelines.
As Fox's Todd Pyro, the number of corona cases in the U.S. over 580,000, a third of them in New York, which also accounts for more than 40% of the 23,000 plus deaths, but Governor Andrew Cuomo is hopeful.
Yes, I think you could say the worst is over.
North Korea has fired off more missiles from the ground and air using fighter jets amid a standoff with the U.S. over nuclear weapons. People are salvaging what they can from Louisiana to North Carolina after storms spawned tornadoes, killed more than 30 people, 11 of them in Mississippi, 9 in South Carolina. There were also 8 deaths scattered across Georgia, and more than 1 million homes and businesses lost power. America's listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Bernie Sanders has already dropped out of the Democratic race for president. Now he has endorsed Joe Biden, saying he is committed
to make certain that we defeat somebody who I believe, and I'm speaking just for myself now, is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
Hours later, Biden scored another primary win in Wisconsin. A week after the vote there that almost wasn't, the governor tried to stop it at the last minute, but was blocked.
In an election that's been riddled with problems in a few of the state's bigger cities like Milwaukee, where all but 5 of the city's 180 voting sites were closed by the mayor out of coronavirus fears, which coupled with social distancing led to longer lines. And like state Republicans, Wisconsin's Democratic governor also criticized for pushing through with an in-person election up until 24 hours prior to the vote in a move by the governor that the state's high court called unconstitutional. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
There's a new warning in this corona crisis about scammers.
The FBI says criminals are actively manipulating the COVID-19 pandemic to their advantage. The Bureau put out a news release saying bad actors are selling fake COVID-19 test kits and unapproved treatments. They're also warning of scammers promising free care to patients in order to get at personal information like social security numbers. And there are crooks out there who claim to be medical professionals and are demanding payment for treating a friend or relative for COVID-19. In Washington, Joel Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, we could see some big gains this morning. Dow futures up more than 300 the day after a 328-point Dow loss. The Nasdaq, however, had an increase yesterday, rising 38 points, and Nasdaq futures are also higher today. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Hello, this is candidate for sheriff Paul Drawdy. One thing we have learned in this time of COVID-19 is the need to work together. If you elect me, I promise to repair the working relationships between the Sheriff's Department and the Jessup Police Department. We are truly one county, and it's our ability to look after and work with our neighbors that make us proud to live here. Go to pauldrawdyforsheriff.com and take a look at all my ideas for the future of Wayne County. Paid for by Paul Drawdy for Sheriff.
BMAX Restaurant in Jessup continues to serve great meals 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call and place your order. The number is 559-2800, 559-2800. Walk-up window is open and has the full menu on display. BMAX has anything you need, including those delicious chicken box meals featuring the best chicken in town. If you're looking for a great meal, BMAX has the deal. And reminds everyone that they're open 6 days a week and ready to serve you every day. Once again, the number to place an order, 559-2800. BMAX in Jessup, located at 362 North 1st Street in Jessup. Call BMAX. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a good neighbor? For State Farm, it means helping our customers because you are our neighbors. State Farm agent Robin Eubanks wants you to know she's ready to help. If Robin Eubanks is your State Farm agent and you're facing financial burdens, call her at 912-427-6008. After all, now more than ever, being a good neighbor means everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, this is Denny Frazier with Frazier's Appliance at 515 West Cherry Street across from Jones Kitchen in Jessup. We now have new as well as refurbished appliances here at Frazier's. We carry a full line of new Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, Speed Queen, and GE appliances as well as other brands. Whether it is a washer, dryer, freezer, refrigerator, stove, or any other appliance you may need, we have it or we can get it here usually in a couple of days. We also service what we sell, so if there's a problem you won't have to wait weeks for some random repairman to show up. If you need a repair on any appliance, whether you purchased it from us or not, we can do that too, and we stand behind our work. Coming soon, we'll be adding a new line of high-end TVs and electronics to our sales floor, so come down and see us today. That's Frazier's Appliance at 515 West Cherry Street, or visit our website at Frazier'sAppliance.com. You can also call or text us at 912-427-8835. That's 912-427-8835. Go Jackets.
At 8:37, let's get a look at your GNN Weather Center forecast on WIFO.
Hi, good morning. Lots of sunshine. Northeast breeze shifting southerly later. Highs low 80s. Partly cloudy. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening. Later, a better chance of showers overnight. Lows upper 50s. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Slight chance of morning thunder. High around 70. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs low 70s.
Georgia meteorologist John Weatherby in the GNN Weather Center.
River level at 9.7 feet, projected to rise and crest at 10.2, 9.7 rising river level. Next tide is low, actually right now, low tide. High this afternoon, 223, 5.9 feet. Low again this evening, 8:34, and sunset at 7:56. Double Sickles 6-6 here at the Big Dog WIFO. That's your GNN Weather Center forecast on the Big Dog.
Stop creditor harassment today. Stop the worry of a pending repossession, garnishment, or foreclosure. Contact the Bankruptcy Group, Attorney R. Flake Cabinet, for an experienced assessment of your financial situation. They have locations in Brunswick, Hazelhurst, and now Jessup. They are a debt relief agency. They help people file for